what's the feeling like now in the group ahead of like one last outing, its last chance for a couple of people, obviously, and that injury sort of anxiety in the background as well?
Yeah, it's good. A lot of the players have been here before. They've played in this scenario, but similarly, probably close to half the squad haven't been in this position before. Obviously, things. You can't keep control of things that happen in games in terms of the injury side of things. So all the players are focusing on is how they're going to put their best foot forward for Faz to get a good glimpse of them. He knows each one of us pretty intimately at this stage, and I feel that's that the final, as I said, the final step that the players can take is actually to go out and show it again in the test match this weekend. That anxiety is obviously stressful enough for players, but at the same time, nothing that players aren't used to in terms of stress in the professional rugby environment.
Is there any talk this week of the infamous Battle of Bayonne, or does that feel like very much a bygone era?
Very much a bygone era. I was very, very quickly touched on at the start of the week. Actually, was it last week? Last week we were in the Aviva. I think Andrew Trimble might have brought it up. That's maybe more his vintage.
Just in terms of line out some issues against England the last day, is that something that's been a focus?
Yes, issues, but nothing that I haven't been in the game involved in that's happened. Cheese hasn't been involved in. Tagburn hasn't been involved in the game that's happened. So that's common for us, especially when you're playing against a line out, which looks like you've got Courtney Laws, Mara Toujay, Chesham, all those guys. They're huge characters, and that's to be expected at times. And obviously, first game back for a lot of players, blowing out a few cobwebs, but I don't see that being any massive area of worry for us.
Thanks. Edward, and then Michael Corcoran online.
Andy said at the start that there's no point going to the World Cup without believing you can win it. 2 days after the squad being announced, is that belief within the group?
Yeah, obviously, when we're prepping right from day one of pre-season, that's what the squad gathered together to do, was to go and participate and do the best that we can do. If we bring the best version of ourselves, as Faz talks about, like we have done over the past few seasons, to certain games, we know that every game's achievable, and the games that we haven't performed as well as we could have, quite often we find it's ourselves that when we get in our own way. So we're looking forward to hopefully performing to the best of our ability and ensuring that whatever the opposition will be pushing to get as far as possible.
You obviously top off the draw, which everyone is saying is the toughest bit. I think most people agree with that. But you've also beaten all of your major rivals over the course of this World Cup cycle. How much confidence does that give you?
Yeah, it does. But similarly, I've been involved in a lot of teams that when you at club level and international level, when you beat someone doesn't necessarily mean the next time you play them you're going to beat them again. But for a lot of those guys who've come through, the likes of Hugh Keenan and Keelan Doris, a huge chunk of that sort of younger cohort that has been around the last 3-4 years, it's been the norm for them to be pushing these top teams as far as they can, and it's unbelievable to see the sort of the way they carry themselves into those training weeks and the way they carry themselves into those games. And off the back of that, it's incredibly impressive for us slightly older players to see them going like that, and they are a huge driver for us as well. But I think, back to your original point, I think it is massively promising that we have been able to turn over those teams.
Just one final one, if it's okay. Tomorrow's the last game of Johnny's ban. How much do you enjoy leading the team this month? How much of a boost would it be to have him back in time for World Cup?
Yeah, look, Johnny's huge for our team. Johnny's he's been a stalwart for Irish rugby. It seems he's been a stalwart for about 10 years, so I don't know how long he's been kicking around. But he's huge for our team environment, for a driver, not only when we're playing, but in terms of training, meetings, the way everyone carries himself about the place. But to be able to be a part of the leadership group, captain the guys on a couple of occasions, and sort of be involved in the general ongoings around the squad's been great. And to say that I've been leading them would be wrong. There's a huge emphasis on Faz for everyone to step up and be a leader. I'm an incredibly small part of a group of players that are constantly driving standards, constantly picking each other up, constantly correcting things to make sure that this team is going to perform to the best of its ability going forward. So don't get me wrong, I've absolutely loved every minute of it, but to say that it's been me driving it would be completely incorrect. It's a huge team effort.
Thanks, everyone. Here, Michael Corcoran.
Sorry, thanks, Peter. I couldn't hear the question, so I'm trying to figure out what you were being asked earlier, and the apologies there. You did mention the word anxiety earlier on. Is there a different kind of feel about this week, given that it's the kind of last chance saloon to try and impress Andy Farrell and the rest of the coaches?
That was similar to one of the questions earlier, Corey. Yeah, like I think there is a type of anxiety there, but like I mentioned, the players are well used to being put in sticky situations, selections for cup finals, selections for tours, selections for Six Nations games. Obviously, this one carries slightly more, or a slightly different weight, should I say? But we're a really tight knit group. The guys who are feeling probably worst about it are probably the best supported, and the guys, and we understand how we're all getting on, and that's something that's I think the guys have done a really good job of, and kind of in the last bit I spoke about there was around that collective, and I feel that the guys really do look out for each other, and there's a genuine sort of care for how each other's feeling, and that's within the same positions as well, so that it's not just for other members of the team. It runs throughout the whole squad.
And can I ask you just about the conditions this week? I mean, there've been obviously various reports for us who are not there during the course of the week of how hot it is and everything. Just in terms of training, I mean, it's whatever, it's 10 to 11 in the morning there, and you look as if you're looking pretty healthy at this stage. Yeah, look,
it's changed out there from where it was earlier in the week. It's still quite warm and quite humid, but nowhere near as hot as it was earlier in the week. It's mizzling a small bit, but it's pretty still. Ball's quite slippy hands. But earlier in the week it was super hot, super sweaty. So the ball was sticky, almost slimy then too. So look, we're kind of used to that slimy ball. That's kind of the way we've been playing, but the way it's changed, it could be slightly drier tomorrow evening. It could be similar out there. Not sure, but hopefully we're well prepped for whatever it is.
I can ask you just a final question about what you expect from Samoa, and can you talk specifically about Christian Leilofano, a man that you know obviously quite well? Yeah,
look, obviously, like this is their pre-World Cup campaign, similar to ours, coming to a crescendo. It's kind of an exciting time for them. They're looking to have a shot at us, and we're looking to ensure that we're able to play the game that we like, enjoy, and want to play. It's good. I think they pose huge threats. They're definitely a different animal to the last time we played them. They've threats the whole way throughout their pack, and I know playing with Christian before, Christian's so calm, collected. He knows exactly what he wants to do, and very often when I was playing with him, he got that outcome. So I kind of feel that he'll bring that to them, and I think he's on the bench, and then when he comes on, he'll be looking to sort of change the game and play the game the way he wants to play it, and look, I'm looking forward to seeing him and having a catch up with him afterwards.
Good man, thanks. I hope it goes well for you.
Thanks.
Cheers.
Final question in this section for Neil Tracy, and then we'll close it off. This link.
Hi Ian. Just a quick one for myself. Has Andy given you an idea as to when he's going to tell you if you're in or out of a squad? Like, will it be before you kick off against Samoa? Will it be after the game?
I would imagine it'll be after the game. He hasn't. No, sorry. To answer your question, no, he hasn't. I'd say it'd be pretty rogue of him if he told us before the game. But not sure. No is the answer to your question. I'm not sure. He hasn't mentioned us where we're going. But like I've mentioned there, the squad's like we're tight knit and everyone's looking after each other and ensuring that whoever is left out will feel as little left out as possible.